Hello, Abraham. Very exciting. Thank you so much for the work. It's beautiful. Thank you.
You're the one doing the work.
Yes. My question is, since I've gotten this material, basically last year, my life has changed dramatically. I don't doubt a thing. I have no fear for death. I'm very excited. I wake up, I look for joy. I just love life to the absolute fullest. And I'm not very surprised anymore. I used to get really excited about the things that might come to my life, but now I'm not having that excitement. Like, it's just kind of like, this just shows up and it seems very obvious. So what I'm having issues with is that in this downtime, when it's not so great and magnificent and I'm not playing all the time and doing stuff, I get very bored. And I find myself smoking pot, which... okay? And in years past, when it's come down to like smoking pot, it's been for different reasons. I've worked on it several times. I've stopped for a year, and then I restarted last year smoking pot again. And my question really is about it is, one part is how do I get rid of the boredom? Between my segments of this great excitement. I understand everything's unfolding. I'm anticipating. I'm grateful for what is. The second part is am I distracting myself by smoking pot and just kind of blitzing out because I feel really good when I'm doing it? I mean, I'm having a good time doing it, and I don't feel so bad doing it. But now some people see me as a fitness star, and I've got to be a certain way, and it's kind of confusing to me.
Well, it's nice to know that you can focus and cause the energy to flow faster. And we want to talk about this just a little bit before we address the pot issue, because we want you to realize that some people, their life helps them to identify strong desire, but they hold themselves in a vibration that's different from the desire that they've identified that they want. And then they find some way of releasing resistance. Maybe it's from smoking pot, or maybe it's from getting involved in something that just makes them feel better for a while. And then what they wanted zooms in because they found somehow some allowing. And then they don't necessarily deliberately keep themselves in that vibration. And so the contrast between what they want and what they usually vibrate is varied enough that they have a sort of exaggerated, rougher ride that can feel more adventurous in nature. In other words, we see, even with Jerry and Esther, who are at the place now where they want it and it comes, and they want it and it comes. Esther was quite annoyed because she's heard us talking about how when something begins to feel like it's the next logical step, then it's ready to come right in. But she also noticed that things that feel like they're the next logical step don't feel all that exciting. In other words, she wants it to feel as exciting as it felt when she didn't believe she could get it. Yeah. But when it's so exciting that you don't believe you can get it, it's too far away to get, and you can't maintain that balance. And so you're all looking for that balance that suits you, where you want things that are bigger than you believe, and then you bring your belief into alignment, and then you receive it. And when you reach the place that, as you have described yourself, where you are knowing that you can do it, it's just a matter of deciding, then that element that you used to call excitement, that was really more angst than it was excitement. In other words, it's like you hear people saying, oh man, if I could just win the lottery. And you can just feel that there's no way in the world even close to a vibrational match for that. But the idea of it is exciting to them. And then we notice that by the time that somebody is close to being a vibrational match for huge amounts of money to flow into their experience, it's not so exciting because they're at a place where they really feel like it is the next logical step. You get to put as much drama and trauma in your experience as you want. We are really encouraging a management of the energy. And so it really goes as we described before. If you will focus upon things that you think you would like, the universe will yield enough information to you to get your juices flowing. And if you want to hold yourself apart from a speedy manifestation of it, just to exaggerate this, it's sort of like knowing that the food tastes really good when you're really, really hungry, so not eating for a day or two, and then really enjoying the meal, or just getting hungry and eating and getting hungry and eating and getting hungry and eating. It's sort of that analogy, you see. Now, as far as smoking the pot goes, do you think that you're doing it because you're trying to soothe some negative discomfort, Or are you gravitating toward it because you feel good and it is a vibrational match to feeling good?
It feels good. I mean, of course the smoking pot feels good, but I really don't have... Everything in my life feels great. It feels in alignment. It feels like it's coming. So when I feel like I'm doing it, I notice sometimes if I'm just kind of distracting myself. Like, I used to sit and read books. But then now that I'm here, I don't need everybody else's perspective so much on life anymore. So the things that I used to pay attention to aren't that exciting to me anymore. So I find myself just kind of smoking some pot and just... looking at the trees or looking at the clouds or just imagining where I'm going and getting really excited about my life,
Well, it does give you a different perspective, but we have some questions about the actual experience, because would you say the experience of being under the influence of it, while it makes you feel better and it causes you to find more pleasure as you are enjoying something specifically that you are focusing upon. In other words, it heightens your awareness as you're looking at the clouds or whatever. Do you feel that under the influence of the pot that you are more focused or less focused than you are without it?
I'm probably a lot less focused.
So what you're saying is it's less focus, so it causes my resistance in the moment to be less.
Yes.
That's what the attraction of the drug has been for so many for so long, because in its effect to cause you to be able to focus less on things that you might be worried about, or focus less even on anything that you want, the resistance that is within you is in that moment dissipated. You can get there through meditation too, or you can get there through appreciation also. The disadvantage of that is that when you come out of it, you are less likely now to be able to focus, but you do not have the effects of the resistance buffer in place anymore. And that's why sometimes the benefit of it is outweighed by the detriment of it as you begin to feel sort of paranoid or more out of balance. Have you had that experience?
No, I feel pretty balanced. I mean, I can, smoke some pot and go to the bank, and I function very, very well. To me, it's kind of like I just kind of live and float my own little experience, and because of I've had to get very focused on what I want out of life to change and really be and not pay so much attention to what the rest of the world's doing. To me, it keeps me in that very just kind of, hey, I'm just me. I'm enjoying myself.
Well, we think that what you're experiencing mostly is a different effect of different focus. And when you slow your focus down, it causes you to offer a different vibration. Jerry and Esther received a video proposal from someone who took some beautiful scenery, things moving very slowly, like for a long time the camera is just focused upon a twig sort of blowing in the wind, or water running under the snow. And then behind it, he overlaid or underlaid a segment of Abraham material. And as Esther and Jerry sat to watch it, at first, because they'd had the television on where so much stimulation of thought is coming at them so fast, it felt dull and slow, like not enough going on. Mm-hmm. But after watching it for a little while, they acclimated to the serenity of it. And as they acclimated to the serenity of it, they began to hear the message that was being offered with it in a way that they usually don't hear. And so we think that's what's happening to you with this drug. It is causing you to slow your perspective way down. It makes you not capable of focusing on things in the normal way that you do, but the things that you are focusing on, you are devouring in a more intimate, intricate manner, which is just a different experience. We have never seen any reason that anyone should avoid that, other than if it is illegal and you believe that it is illegal and you are worried about being caught doing something illegal, and then it messes up your vibration. But of course, no one here would tell anyone that would cause you any trouble. As the camera zooms in at a very tight. So your question is, should I give it up? Yeah. You said you like it. Why would you?
Yeah. Then the question is by doing that, am I not allowing well-being fully through my body?
We can feel no thwarting of any well-being through this action at all. And we really like it when our opinion matters not one bit. We want you to say, Abraham, I found this remarkable experience. It just feels good to me, and I don't really give a rip what you think. I can tell by the way I feel that for now, at least, I'm having a beneficial experience. And if that ever changes, I'll take another look at it.
Yes.
I sometimes feel jealous of Jerry that he has you to ask all the questions. So one of my questions was, what was the longest lifespan a human being on Earth had?
Well, it's been hard to calculate because your counting methods have changed so much.
So in now years.
It is in the early hundreds.
So it was not 300 or 600 like the Bible were describing?
It could be that, but not 900.
Okay. And one more question I
It
had.
was boring. If they'd had pot, they would have smoked.
But that expands the possibilities, of being healthy and young and not necessarily staying within 100 years.
You have far less physical limitations than most of you have assigned yourself. And it is our expectation that even among the bodies of this room, that there will be many of you who will get in sync with the energy of your source in a non-resistant way, and you will far outlive the expectation of the masses that surround you. And we are not big proponents of long life. We are proponents of joyful life.
Right.
And when you find yourself in joy, then the longevity usually follows. Although we do not count the success of a life by its length. We
Yes.
count it by its joy. And sometimes there are those sort of spasms of a life where you're really tuned in and it is a very short life, but it is triumphant. And since you are eternal beings, there is no noting that is really notable from non-physical relative to that. It really is an individual choice. Most people, we have to tell you, not all, but most people who are addressing the subject of long life in this body are doing it from a negative standpoint because they just aren't ready to start over again. They want to reap more benefits from the knowledge that they've accumulated here, you see. And we say, there's enough lack in that vibration to take you out.
Okay.
But when life is just delicious and you are just loving it, and it's not about making announcements to the universe, it's about a moment-to-moment appreciation of life, you see. So our friend talked about his exaggerated appreciation of things like clouds and skies and surroundings under the influence, but also a sort of sensation of boredom somehow coupled with that or preceding that. And we're wanting you to understand that you get to manage all of that. The perfect environment or the perfect state of creative beingness is to be satisfied with where you are and eager for more. Satisfied and eager, satisfied and eager, satisfied and eager. And many will say, well, if I'm satisfied, then won't the universe just give me the same thing over and over again? And we say, it's not possible for you to withdraw your focus of your surroundings enough that you would cease launching rockets of desire. So you cannot stop expanding your vision of preferring a better experience. It just is an inevitable experience. And so content or satisfied and eager, best combination.
Okay.
We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. It is delicious beyond description to come together with those like you who are coming into full empowerment of your own experience. Be easy about this. Make peace with where you are. Look for reasons to appreciate your life and those around you, and most of all yourself. And coach yourself into more and more conscious alignment with emotions that feel good to you. And understand that wherever you are is all right and subject to improvement. But don't let the crevasse between where you are and the improvement you seek set you off balance so much that you lose sight of the direction that you are going. Let the emotions that are within you guide you, and don't lose track of what you want. And say to yourself on a regular basis, I'm such a good person, and I came forth with such clear intent. And it is so satisfying to see my life unfold in the way that I've intended before I even got into this physical body. And I'm loving so much getting to put my 2 cents worth in from here.